Good evening and welcome to this evening's virtual traffic regulation order committee meeting held by virtue of new regulations introduced by the government. I am Councillor Peter Davis and I will be chairing the meeting. The regulations have temporarily removed the legal requirement for local authorities to hold public meetings in person. This will enable councils to make effective and transparent decisions on delivery of services for residents. The requirement for public meetings to be made accessible to the public remains, and the link to the virtual meeting is available on the council's website in the usual live meetings link page. If a connection to a member is lost during the meeting, I will stop the meeting to enable the connection to be restored. If the connection cannot be restored within a reasonable time, the meeting will proceed, but the member who was disconnected will not be able to vote on the matter under discussion, as they will not have heard all the facts. Should any aspect of the external link fail, we may call a short adjournment of up to 5 minutes or so to determine whether the connection can quickly be re-established, either by video technology or telephone, in the alternative. If the connection is not restored within that time, the meeting will be adjourned and any further business will not proceed until another time and date. Any public questions properly submitted to the meeting during this period will be read out by myself and answered at the meeting. So firstly, can I ask the clerk to ask the members to confirm their attendance?
Councillor Davis.
Present.
Councillor Gloucester.
Present.
Councillor Murphy.
Present.
And Councillor Surgeon.
Present.
Thank you. When the committee comes to take a vote on an item, each member will be individually asked to state whether they are for, against, or abstaining. We also have officers in attendance to advise the committee. If we turn now to the agenda, and for the benefit of those members of the public watching, the full agenda pack is available on the council's website. Okay, so item number 1, any apologies for absence?
None received, Chair.
Thank you. Do we have any urgent business?
We've not been notified of any urgent business, Chair.
Right. Do any members wish to make any declarations of interest? No? Do we have any public questions?
We've not received any public questions, Chair.
Right, thank you. Right, moving to the matter to be considered this evening, item 5. Members have the minutes of the meeting held on the 26th of November 2020. Are the minutes agreed as an accurate record? And we're all here, aren't we, as well? We're there. So I can confirm they are.
Yeah.
Peter, can I just ask one question in relation to those minutes, please?
Yeah.
Katie, it's probably one for you to answer this, but just in relation to that, I think it was Dobb Cross issue. You know, the yellow lines where it was a split vote and then the chair cast his second vote. Is there any particular reason why we don't record that in the minutes, or is that just the standard way that we produce the minutes?
It's a standard way.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you then.
And if I may ask a question, please, Chair?
Yeah, that's fine.
There was quite a number of questions in the last meeting submitted by some members of the public. And one of the things that I asked as an action was that the answers were written to the members of the public. Could I ask whether that actually happened? Because I recall seeing an email that was bouncing about, I think we're all included in it, where the residents and the questionnaires had claimed that they'd not had responses.
I emailed the questioners the responses given to them that were read out at the meeting.
Excellent. Thanks,
Yeah,
Kate.
I emailed them individually.
Brilliant. Thank you.
No problem.
Anything else? Okay, thanks, sir. All right, then item 6. Proposed stopping up of footpaths, the land adjacent to the former Chadderton Sports Centre. Would the officer like to introduce this, please? And is that you, Gary?
It is, Councillor. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I'll just run through the description of what we're looking at here. So it's the purpose of the report that we submitted is to approve the stopping up of the footpaths that cross the land adjacent to the former Chadderton Sports Centre in Chadderton for the purpose of developing the area into a car park facility for a new conference, exhibition centre and restaurant. So the report is something to recommend that the footpaths detailed in the schedule in the report to be stopped up under the powers contained under Section 257 of the Town and Country Planning Act 1990. So if you bear with me, I can just as if you're not familiar with the area there, I'll just, if I can, and I don't think I can do, it's not letting me for some reason. I was going to share the area on Google, but I've just looked and it's just not worked. So I've had a bit of a hiccup there, unfortunately. But really, if you can recall, by the side of the old sports centre, it's a series of footpaths or footways, tarmac little paths, crisscrossing the grass-verged area adjacent to where the sports centre was. Now, this is going to be changed into a car park area, so there won't be that direct footpaths across that anymore. So they're going to be on the adjacent normal footways along the perimeter of the actual proposed development. So it's quite a simple proposal to consider, I suppose.
Is everybody happy with that? Without any, or would you like anything put in? I presume you've all read it on your packs anyway. You know,
Yeah,
the pictures of the.
I just had a quick question, if you don't mind. Gary, can I just quickly ask? Sorry, Gary, can I just quickly ask? Does the footpath belong to this the sports centre, or is it the council? Or
well, the council owned the land that the sports centre was built on. So the agreement with the developer is to, you know, he's going to exchange the land, and so he can have control over that land. We've got to sort of take away the previous rights of the footways that were over it, so to clean up that area in terms of, so there's no commitment for him to carry on having to provide that that right of way for pedestrians. So
the land around the sports centre will still continue to be part of the council properties, or?
No, it's the developer. That's the agreement. There's an exchange between the council and the developer, so either can control. So we're helping him in terms of, you know, what the car park should look like. We're helping him in terms of what our standards are, what car park should look like in terms of how wide the spaces are, and the gaps between various vehicles and the turning areas. So it all meets it's of a standard that we're happy with.
Yeah.
So it's working with us to achieve that once it's tarmac the area. So we're just taking those footpaths away, so there's no sort of underlying issues where a pedestrian could, you know, be walking on these things and get hit by a car trying to park.
Right. Okay.
So it's just that, basically.
Yeah. That makes sense. Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, move to approve, Chair.
Well, just the other thing is, Gary, though, if I can just ask something there, there's no objections to this being put forward or anything, has there?
None at all. No, it's basically a process really. We just need to go through to make sure we've extinguished these routes after, you know, so it's not underneath anything once they've developed the area.
Right. Okay. Then we'll open this to debate. But Councillor Gloucester's recommended it for approval. Has anybody got any other comments? Though.
No, I second it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then. Okay, then we'll go to the vote. No one's got any further comments, so no one wants to speak before the vote. The recommendations are set out in the report. Does everybody agree to it, subject to that? If we can move to the vote.
Councillor Davis?
For.
Councillor Gloucester?
For.
Councillor Murphy?
Support the officer's recommendation of option 1.
Thank you. And Councillor Sergeant?
4.
Thank you. That's unanimous.
Right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
The recommendations are approved. That concludes the business of this evening's business. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks
Good
for
night.
coming.
Good night.
Bye.